and admired the lovely shimmering object. To her surprise, the otherwise flawless shell bore a small hole at its tip. Oh, was there a buffer for y'all? What was the last thing y'all remember me saying? Oh, I see now. It completely restarted. I'm so sorry about that. I did say there was a storm coming. Stream apparently crashed there. What do y'all remember me saying? I'll read you the rest of the story. It's almost over. It was a storm. Alright, I will jump back a little bit. We're back. Welcome back, Rodo. Apparently there was a crash, so I'm jumping back a little bit to read what was potentially missed. I did warn that a storm was coming, so I guess this is a signifier that I'm trying to close off at a good time. A panic fluttered through her heart at how near his face came to hers, her eyes unintentionally drifting to the gentle curves of his smiling lips. Ever they drew closer. Unable to take the suspense any longer, she closed her eyes shut and froze at his eventual touch. Despite the thrumming in her heart, all she felt was a tender bump of their foreheads. Allowing a peek through one of her eyes, she found the gentle serpentine man already disappearing into the depths, with only the faintest glimmers of his silver body showing her where he yet was. A deep longing swirled in her chest as she watched the mystical man disappear, as her desire for the continual fantastic in her life warred with the reality of her bodily needs. Unable to escape the call of the air above, she returned to the surface and slowly climbed up to the edge of the shallow cliff face. Lingering at its edge, the solemn woman peered out to the sea, stubbornly refusing the end of the day of magic. It was as she lamented such a loss when she became known to a foreign sensation in her hand. Lifting her hand up in confusion, she found her answer within its grasp. A relatively small conch shell. Wondering when it had appeared, she turned and admired the lovely and shimmering object. To her surprise, the otherwise flawless shell bore a small hole at its tip. Shifting her eyes to the open oceans and back to the shell, she felt her sorrow lift. With a song gracing her lips, she returned to where she had come. She had always felt called to the sea, but perhaps now she could call to it. And that was the end of Gentle Ocean, a short story by me. So, I do not know if you are aware, but I actually have art of the Oarfish Merman within the story. You may have seen him in my Etsy shop, or sometimes when I post my art on Twitter. He was one of my favorite pieces that I had done, and it's even titled after the same name of the short story. That was so amazing. Well, thank you, Game Crazy. I'm happy that you enjoyed it. But it's a shame that we crashed right at the end. If only it could have lasted just a few moments longer. But tell me, um, how did everything go? Did you appreciate the short story? Because if so, I might start throwing those in a little bit when I'm reading. I will be strong enough to avoid reading my own book until it is properly published. As I said before, I might try to self-publish it. And if that is the case, I will let you know if that happens. Y'all like the short story? Well, thank you, my dears. Well, let me see if there is... It was good to lay back and enjoy. Good meditation. Well, I'm glad to hear that, my dear. That is always the hope in my streams. Love this. Well, thank you, Rodo and Naomi. So, Game Crazy, I'm actually reached out to a VTubing friend of mine who had recently self-published a book. And it seems like I might be able to do it through Amazon Kindle. I'll have to look into it a bit more, and in fact I kind of planned on doing that not long after the stream, because it seems like there's a possibility to not only publish digital copies, but it's also possible to order physical copies of it, which was the biggest thing that I was kind of hesitant to avoid, or more keen on avoiding with self-publishing books, is because I was worried you wouldn't be able to get a physical copy. And as much as I would love to go through traditional publishers and get a hardback of my book, getting an agent is exceptionally difficult. But I will let y'all know and keep you up to date on whether my duology goes well, because this will actually be the first book of two. Hold on. Oh yes, that is possible, and I look forward to being able to hold your book in my hands. Me too! I'm excited to hold my own book in my hands too. I wish you all the best. I can only imagine how your thoughts translate to the written word. Well, as you saw with my short story, though it is a very raw version of it, I've been told that I can become a bit poetic in my writing. So, if y'all want, I could tell y'all the summary of it, if you're curious. Sure, okay. Let me see if I can pull up, because I had a proper summary written down before. And on my Tumblr that I gave y'all, there actually is little bits of information and old art in regards to the book. Some character design and things like that. Let me... Those are not... I would honestly like to wait for now, so I will mute the tab for a moment. As you wish. So... I had it here somewhere. Alright, So the tagline is being human no matter the costs. So as for genre, I put it down as a post-apocalyptic fantasy slash tragedy story that's more character driven than anything else. So here is the synopsis. The end has come and gone. Humanity has been left in scattered groups, only just living on. Creatures from seemingly multiple origins populate the lands over the bones of all their civilizations. One lone human, separated from her family, awakens years later from a nightmarish vision. So disturbed from the horrors she had seen, she decides to leave her longtime sanctuary, the arena. To pay off her debts, she comes under the employment of a man who dreams to bring respect and honor to his kind through the fights of the arena. Tragedy on the road forces them both through the perilous desert. Here, they begin to understand one another and take a look at what it means to be human. But though they think the danger has been left behind, it only grows deep inside. The scorpion lies in waiting. So, the scorpion is in reference to the, I suppose you can say, series title. The title of the series is called Scorpion's Moon, with this one in particular being Lunar Eclipse. So, this first book is essentially the fall, and the second book is the rise. And that will be all the little teaser that I will give y'all for now. But I suppose I do believe that that should be it for the rest of today. I do hope that all of you had a wonderful time here with me, as I know I did with y'all. It is fun to read to y'all. Let me see if there's anyone we can raid. Ah, I know who we can raid. A friend is still streaming. I'm sure you all know him. Thanks for the stream, Faye. Well, thank you, Ozzy. Now, everyone, let us... I enjoyed my stay. Thank you for the comfy ASMR. You're welcome. Now, everyone, let us get our glimmer together and be sure to be kind to our new host, Amundal. Let me hope I did this right. No, I did not. There we go. Okay, Game Crazy. Alright, everyone. Let us glamour them with our shimmer. And here we are.